Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about types of messages. It's interesting because this past week someone sent me a compliment. And when I read the compliment, I thought, oh, there are many different types of messages. And I thought there were maybe five, but very quickly I was able to find over 20 of them. I did some brainstorming with Jen. I did some searching on the internet, and I was able to think of 27 different types of messages: an apology, a thank you, an inquiry, a reminder, an offer, a warning, an explanation. I'm just looking at my other screen reading some of them: a rejection, an alert, a proposal. So in this English lesson, I will go through those 27 different types of messages. Again, all of these words and phrases are very common in the English language. So today you'll be learning some everyday English words we use to talk about different types of messages. So once again, welcome. An apology is a message in which a person says sorry for something they did or said. So if I do something to offend someone, or if I do something wrong, or if I do something where someone else is insulted or even hurt, I owe them an apology. An apology is very much just when you say, I'm sorry. So if Jen said, when you're at the store, it's really important that you buy bread. And then when I come home from the store, I say to Jen, I'm sorry, I forgot to buy bread. So I give Jen an apology. I let her know that I feel bad that I didn't do the thing that I was supposed to do. So once again, an apology is almost always just, I'm sorry, I am sorry. And it's an expression saying that you feel bad that you did something or said something. So a message in which a person says sorry for something they did or said. A thank you, a message that shows gratefulness to someone for something they did. Yesterday, my mom needed to get groceries, and my mom no longer has a car. My mom's quite old, actually. So she decided that she didn't want to drive a car anymore because she felt like she was too old. So now all of us take turns taking her to town to get groceries. After I took her to get groceries, I had a cup of tea. I went home, and later that day, she sent me a nice email. She sent me a thank you. And in her message, she said, thanks, Bob, for taking me to the grocery store today. I really appreciate it. So again, a thank you is any kind of message that shows gratefulness, that you are happy that someone did something. And you're showing gratefulness to someone for something they did or something they said. So my mom said thank you, and it made me feel good. Whenever someone says thank you, it feels good. And in this case, when you send a thank you, you use the words thank you. Thank you for this lesson, Bob. Thank you for taking me to the grocery store. Thank you for the amazing Christmas present. That's how you express or send a message where you are thankful. So a message that shows gratefulness to someone for something they did. A request. This is a little more formal. A request is a message in which a person politely asks someone to do something or for something. So I have this little form here that I found, and this is a time off request form. So it has the word request right in it. This is very similar to the form I need to fill out at work if I want a day off. So you'll see here, employee name, position, leave type, personal leave, medical leave, maternity or paternity leave. I'm not taking that kind. I'm not going to request that kind of leave. Sick leave, family leave, others, vacation, or time off to vote. So there are many different kinds of requests. This is the most common kind of request that I see in my place of work. So a request is a message in which a person politely asks someone to do something or for something. A resignation. This is also a very formal type of message. A resignation is a message that formally tells an employer that a person is leaving their job. So if I found a new job, or if I didn't like my job anymore, in order to quit my job, it's considered polite to send in a resignation, to actually write a letter saying, dear boss, after a lot of thought, I've decided that I will no longer be working at this place. I just want to give you my 2 weeks notice. In Ontario, Canada, it's polite to give 2 weeks notice if you leave a job, but it is important that you write a letter of resignation. It's very official and it's very legal. So a resignation, a message that formally tells an employer that a person is leaving their job. A response. So a response is a message that a person sends or gives as an answer to another message. So the most common type of response is when you are invited to a wedding and they want you to let them know if you are planning to attend the wedding. So usually there is a card because they want a response. They have sent you an invitation, which is later in the lesson. I'll talk about invitations. They would like a response so that they know how many meals the chef needs to prepare, how many tables they need at the wedding. So you see here, it even says, please respond by the 5th of May, accept with pleasure, decline with regrets, or, indicate the number of people attending, and then whether you want filet mignon, salmon, or vegetarian dish. So a response, a message that a person sends or gives as an answer to another message. And this can be simple as well. When my boss emails me and asks me a question, they are wanting a response. You could also say a reply, but they would like a response so they know the answer to the question they asked me. A complaint, a message that expresses dissatisfaction with a product, service, or situation. So I wrote a little fake email here as a complaint. This is from Jim to Bob the Canadian. Bob, hi Bob, I hope you're doing well. I'm writing to let you know that I'm having trouble hearing the audio in your English lessons. The volume is too low. Even when my computer volume is all the way up, it's difficult to understand you sometimes, especially in the listening exercises. Could you please make the audio louder in your next lessons? Thank you for your time and for making such great lessons. Best regards, Jim. So again, this is fake. Jim didn't actually send this to me, but you can see this is a complaint. Jim has identified that the audio is not loud enough, and Jim has now written a complaint to let me know that they are not happy with the audio level. A reprimand. So this is a very serious type of message. That's a little too big. A reprimand is a formal message that tells someone they have done something wrong and need to improve. So if you are doing something wrong at work, your boss might send you a reprimand. If you're late for work 5 days in a row, you might get an email saying, stop being late for work. And that is a reprimand. So it's a corrective message. It identifies something you're doing wrong, and it might tell you what to do instead. So here again, another fake letter. This is from Jim. To Jim from Joe. Jim, this is a formal reprimand for taking 45 minutes for lunch when the company policy allows a maximum of 30 minutes. Please make sure to keep your lunch breaks within the 30-minute limit going forward. So this is an official reprimand. The boss or manager, Joe, is sending Jim a message saying, you're doing this and you're not supposed to. You need to fix it. So Jim apparently has been taking an extra 15 minutes for lunch every day and has now received a reprimand from his boss. A demand. So a demand is a formal request for something. So a strong message saying that something must be done or provided. If the government says I owe $1,000 in income tax and I don't pay it, eventually they will send me a demand for the money. Like they'll send me a very strongly worded letter. And here we have a letter from, I had AI make this. This is from Bob's Bowls, quality bowls for every table, a bowl supplier. And what's happened here is Jim got some bowls and didn't pay for them. So Bob is now sending a demand letter demanding the money. Dear Jim, this letter is a formal demand for payment of $800 owed to Bob's Bowls for bowls supplied on April 10, 2025. Please pay the full amount of $800 within 7 days of receiving this letter. So you can see, I'll make it a bit bigger, it'll go off the screen, but you can see the seriousness here. This is a very formal type of letter that you would get if you owed someone money. They might send you a demand for that money. An invitation. This is one of the most common types of messages. An invitation is simply a message asking someone to come to an event or take part in an activity. You might get an invitation to a retirement party. Those are pretty common. You might get an invitation to a wedding. Somebody might be getting married. You might get an invitation to an anniversary party. Maybe someone has been married for 40 or 50 years and they're having a big party. You might get an invitation to a birthday party. It's simply someone saying, hey, we're having this type of event. You are invited. And it can be something simple as well. If you have a friend in a band and they're playing at a certain venue, they might send you an invitation and say, hey, come and listen to my brand new band. But anyways, save the date. Cindy and Marvel getting married. When are they getting married? September, on a Sunday. September, I think this already happened probably. Yes, it looks like they might have gotten married a while ago. Was that, what is the date there? Oh, it doesn't actually have a year, does it? Okay, anyways, there is an invitation, a message asking someone to come to an event or take part in an activity. An inquiry. And I think if you're an American, you say an inquiry. I don't know how to say it. I say it, I'm pretty sure the British way. An inquiry. A message asking for information about something. So here we have another letter. I wrote this letter. This letter is from Jim to Bob's Bowls, and it says, inquiry about possible job opportunities. Now, remember, Jim owes Bob $800. But anyway, dear Bob's Bowls, I am writing to inquire about any possible job opportunities at Bob's Bowls. I am very interested in working for your company and would appreciate any information you can share. So this is Jim, and he has sent an inquiry to Bob's Bowls asking if it's possible that he could apply for a job. He's not applying for a job yet. He's simply inquiring if there are positions available. So an inquiry, a message asking for information about something. A reminder, a message that helps someone remember something they need to do or know. So I've put together this photo here. You can see this is Jen sending me a reminder. This is fake, by the way. But this does happen. I don't think Jen has little hearts by her name I just photoshopped a picture. Hi, Bob. Don't forget to get milk and carrots from the grocery store after work. Thanks. So sometimes we need certain groceries, and sometimes I say, I'll get them after work. And then sometimes I forget. So often Jen will send me a reminder. She will send me a message to help me remember, and it's very nice. Sometimes I will send Jen a reminder like, hey, don't forget you have to pick our daughter up from work today. It's nice to send someone a reminder so that they don't forget to do something. So again, a reminder, a message that helps someone remember something they need to do or know. A confirmation. If you have ever traveled in the world, you are familiar with a confirmation. It is a message that verifies that something has been arranged, received, or agreed to, or purchased, or whatever you want to say. So here we have a confirmation email. So this is a confirmation that this flight is going to happen, even though this is an old confirmation. But you can even see the title says booking confirmation. So a confirmation, a message that verifies that something has been arranged, received, or agreed to. Like basically you're confirming like, hey, we got your money. We're sending you the package. That is a confirmation. A follow-up, a message sent after an earlier message to continue the communication. So here is the follow-up email that I've drafted. This is from Bob the Canadian to Amazing Studios. And this is a two-part joke. So this is the first part. Hello, Amazing Studios team. I'm hoping you're doing well. I wanted to follow up regarding my screenplay submission, which I sent on April 28th. I was wondering if you had a chance to review it yet, and if there are any updates you can share about its status. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. So basically, I've sent a screenplay to Amazing Studios, and I haven't heard from them for a while. So I send a follow-up email. I send an email saying, hey, I sent my screenplay. Apparently, I wrote the screenplay for a movie, and I'm hoping that they will make this movie. So I'm sending a follow-up email. I'm asking what the status is of that email that I first sent. So a message sent after an earlier message to continue the communication. And then here's part 2, a rejection. So here we have a letter from Amazing Studios. A rejection is a message telling someone that their request or application has been denied. So Bob the Canadian, dear Bob the Canadian, thank you for submitting your screenplay, Bob the Canadian's Adventures in Space. We regret to inform you that we have decided not to move forward with your project. That's very common wording for a rejection. We regret to inform you that you didn't get the job. We regret to inform you that your application has been denied. And then the second part says, we are excited to share that we will be moving forward with a different project, Bib the Canadian in Space instead. Sincerely, Amazing Studio. So a rejection, a letter telling you that something's not going to happen, or a message telling someone that their request or application has been denied. This, in my opinion, I think is the worst type of message to get, a rejection. Not very, very nice at all. An announcement, a message that gives important or interesting information to a group of people. So the most common announcement I can think of is a birth announcement. If you and your spouse have a baby, you will often send out a birth announcement announcing that the baby has been born. So an announcement, a message that gives important or interesting information to a group of people. Jasper apparently was born. Jasper Tom Gregory Miller was born 6 years ago. That kid's pretty old now. 5 pounds, 9 ounces. That's somewhat small, I think. An explanation, a message that gives reasons or details to help someone understand something. So often there will be construction work in your city and they might send an explanation. Like, we are closing Main Street for a week because we are repairing a water main. So you'll get a letter and it will be an explanation. Or you might not have electricity for 3 days, and then they will send a message. They will send an explanation. Sorry, we were unable to provide electricity because the wind blew all of the power lines down on your street. So they might send you an explanation so you know why that happened. A warning, a message that tells someone about a possible danger, problem, or consequence. So I think this is possibly not legal everywhere in the world, but here when I'm driving and I use my phone as my GPS, it will tell me if there is a police car ahead. So it'll quite often just say, hey, police ahead, 10 reports 2 minutes ago. And then it gives me the option of saying whether the police officer is still there or not. So this is kind of handy. I don't speed a lot. So my phone will give me a warning. It will say, it will give me a message that tells someone about a possible danger, problem, or consequence. So there you go. I'm not sure if that is legal in your country or not, but here in Canada, it's nice to have that warning. An offer and a counteroffer. So an offer is a message saying that you are willing to give, provide, or do something. So in this scenario, we see that the employer is giving an offer to someone who might work at their company. We would like to offer you the job for $25 an hour. That is an offer. We also use this word when you're buying a house. You make an offer. If the house is $500,000, you might say, I'll give you $480,000. That is a formal legal offer. So an offer, a message saying that you are willing to give, provide, or do something. So in this case, the employer, the offer is that they are willing to give the person a job for $25 an hour. And then we have a counteroffer, a message that responds to an offer by suggesting different terms or conditions. So in this case, the person looking for the job says, how about $30? So they've made a counteroffer. In my example about the house, if the house is $500,000 and you offer $480,000, they might come back with a counteroffer saying, how about $490,000? So again, an offer, a message saying that you are willing to give, provide, or do something. A counteroffer, a message that responds to an offer by suggesting different terms or conditions. A cancellation. This might be another very negative type of message, but it is a message telling someone that a planned event or appointment will not happen. Delta Airlines, we are very sorry for the inconvenience due to crew constraints. Your flight DL 1430 has been canceled. Please check your email for information about rebooking to see if your specific itinerary is eligible to cancel for a refund. So you would not want to get this message. A cancellation is never a nice message to get. By the way, I do want to mention, I said DL 1430. In English, you could say DL 1430. You could say DL 1430. But I bet you the most common thing you would hear is someone to say DL 1430. I don't know why we do that with numbers. I apologize, but we do quite often do that. We just say parts of the number in a different way. But anyways, a cancellation, a horrible type of message telling someone that a planned event or appointment will not happen. An alert. I'm sure some of you have gotten these before. An alert is a message that quickly tells people about an important or urgent situation. The most common type of alert I can think of is a weather alert. I don't have my phone here, but often we will get an alert on our phone saying severe thunderstorm coming or tornado warning. We had that the other day. Even though we don't get tornadoes here, there was a warning that north of us there might have been. So an alert, a message that quickly tells people about an important or urgent situation. In Ontario, Canada, we also have what's called an Amber Alert. And that's what you get on your phone if a child goes missing. So if a child is missing, lost, abducted, or if something horrible like that has happened, we all get an alert on our phone saying what to look out for. So an alert, a message that quickly tells people about an important or urgent situation. A proposal, a message that presents a plan or idea for someone to consider. So here we have, by the way, if you're wondering who Bib is, it came up, someone misspelled my name in a comment once and it kind of stuck. So I sometimes use Bib as like, I guess my alter ego, but a proposal, a message that presents a plan or idea for someone to consider. So this is from Bib to Bob. Hi, Bob. I'm a big fan of your content and think our audiences would really enjoy us doing a collaboration video together someday. Let me know what you think, and maybe we can brainstorm some fun ideas when the time is right. Cheers, Bib, the Canadian. So if you want to know more about Bib, Bib is what I would call a running joke now on my live streams. I use the name Bib. Bib is not a real name. There's no one in the world named Bib, I don't think. But I used it as a joke, and now I like to resurrect it every once in a while. So, a proposal, a message that presents a plan or idea for someone to consider. So in this case, Bib is saying, hey, let's work together. Let's do a collaboration. A clarification, a message that makes something clearer or corrects a misunderstanding. So here we have a message from the town of Allentown. The clarification message is, this is a clarification to let everyone know that fireworks will be after dark and not before dark. I'm not sure if this is this is probably fake, but basically, I guess a lot of people thought the fireworks were going to start before dark. So the town felt the need. This has to be fake. I don't know. It was just in my, I have a subscription to a photo service for photos for these lessons. So anyways, clarification, a message that makes something clearer or corrects a misunderstanding. So often when you get a clarification, it'll say something like, just want to clarify the wedding starts at 6, not 6:30. So you will have a better idea of what is happening. This is a pretty common one, a notification, a message that informs you that something has happened or needs your attention. The most common type of notification would be having a little red bubble with a number on your phone, on one of the icons, or maybe on your computer. When you're on the YouTube channel, you'll see that you have a notification. Maybe you have a message, maybe you have an email, maybe there's something you need to look at. But a notification, once again, a message that informs you that something has happened or needs your attention. An update, a message that gives the newest information about a situation or topic. Update, We can all stop searching. Barney the cat has been found. Thank you to everyone in Allentown for your help and support. So apparently, in this scenario, someone lost their cat and everyone's been looking for the cat. And then maybe you're looking for the cat and your phone, you get a notification that you have a message and you read it and it's an update. We can all stop searching. Barney the cat has been found. Thank you to everyone in Allentown for your help and support. So this is, you would get a notification, you would read the update, and then there's also a thank you at the end. I'm trying to point with more fingers. Thank you to everyone. So this one fills a lot of different gaps. A notice, gaps? What am I saying? This one teaches you 3 different types of messages in one photo. A notice, a message that formally informs people about something they need to know. So you'll often see a notice like this, announcement of scheduled road work. You know, this road is going to be closed, those kinds of things. It's kind of a formal message, often from the government, letting you know. You might see a notice on a door. So you might see a notice at the doctor's office saying, just a reminder, we're going to be closed on the holiday next Monday. So that would be a notice that someone has posted. But a notice, a message that formally informs people about something they need to know. A compliment, a positive message that expresses admiration for someone or something. So this is real. This is from Rosario. Hi, Bob. I am happy you notice our skills are improving. I want to highlight your lessons are rather short, efficient, and relaxing. That is why most of us improved a lot over the time. In my response, I'm happy to hear that you appreciate the length and the tone. I try to teach, but also show I think that helps. This was a message that I got from an English learner on my second channel, Bob's Short English Lessons, where I usually respond. I make one video a week and I do respond to one comment as I show you different parts of different cities and the farm and those kinds of things.